I didn't slam the door, throw her things out, or demand answers. I simply left, no warnings, no second chances, no dramatic goodbyes. She had already made her choice, and I wasn't going to waste any more time trying to make sense of it. That was a year ago. Since then I've moved on, built a new life, one that's better than before. I hadn't thought about her at all until today when, out of nowhere, she appeared in front of me. Her eyes locked onto mine, and in a hushed voice she said, "I never stopped loving you." But the truth is, I had. We had spent 6 years together, married for 3, and I thought we had something real, something meant to last. Sure, we had our challenges, but at the end of the day I believed in us. She was my best friend, the one I could confide in through anything, the person who knew my darkest moments and still stood by me. When we married, I told myself this was forever. For a time I truly thought she felt the same. But trust is a strange thing. You don't realize how much of it you've given until it's shattered. It started small. She worked late more often. At first I didn't think anything of it, she'd always been driven. Then her style changed, not just for work but in everyday life. It was like she was dressing to impress someone else, and that's when the phone began to be a problem. It was always in her hand, the notifications hidden behind a passcode, and when it buzzed while we were together, she'd tilt the screen away and change the topic. Small things, but in a relationship small things add up. I asked her once casually, "Who's texting you so late?" She brushed it off, claiming it was just work. "You're overthinking," she said. I wanted to believe her. I really did. I told myself I was just being insecure, imagining things, creating problems where none existed. To think otherwise meant admitting that the marriage I built my life on was already over. But truth has a way of showing up, whether you're prepared for it or not. One night I got the answer, not through suspicion or snooping, but it came to me naturally. It was a normal evening. She told me she had to work late again, so I made dinner alone, watched TV, and went to bed. I thought nothing of it. This had become our routine. But later, around midnight, I woke up. The house felt eerily quiet, too quiet. There was no sound of her returning home, no soft footsteps or whispered, "I'm home." Something felt off, so I reached for my phone and checked her location, not out of jealousy but out of the need for certainty. Her office wasn't where she was. She was at a hotel across town. My stomach sank and my grip on the phone tightened. My mind raced for an explanation, any logical reason, but deep down I already knew. I could have called her, asked her, given her the chance to lie to me once again. But I didn't. Instead, I did something I never thought I would. I got in my car and drove to the hotel. I parked in the lot, sitting there for what felt like hours, just watching, waiting, trying to convince myself that it wasn't real, that maybe she'd walk out alone, and I'd be the one regretting ever doubting her. Then I saw them. She walked out first, laughing, happier than I'd seen her in months, and right behind her was her boss, the man she'd claimed was just a mentor. His hand was on her back as they walked to his car, talking as though they had all the time in the world. I didn't need to witness anything more, didn't need to hear their words, or see how she leaned toward him, how she smiled. It all spoke volumes. It told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never was. I didn't make a scene, didn't storm off, didn't stick around to see how things unfolded for them. I just got in the car, started the engine, and drove home. I started packing. By the time she came back, I was already gone. No note, no message. I didn't need to say anything. She knew what she'd done. Now she had to live with it. That night, I checked into a hotel, staring at the ceiling for hours, waiting for the anger to flood in, waiting for the heartbreak to catch up with me. But it never came. My body had already processed what my heart couldn't yet accept. The next morning, I filed for divorce. No confrontation, no lengthy explanations, just the paperwork. I sent a copy to her workplace since that's where she spent most of her time anyway. She called me that afternoon, 5 missed calls, and I finally answered. "We need to talk," she said, her voice trembling. "No, we don't," I replied. She started crying, swearing it wasn't what it seemed, claiming she was confused, that it was a mistake. "But you don't accidentally spend the night at a hotel with your boss. You don't lie for months," I told her. "I'm not angry. I'm just done." And that was the last time we spoke. I moved to a new city, started over, new job, new apartment, new routines. The first few months were tough. There were nights I almost reached for my phone, moments when I thought about what could have been. But then I would remember that night outside the hotel and the doubt would vanish. She had already moved on before I even realized I needed to. So I moved on too. Life went on, I healed, I grew, and I built a life that was no longer tied to her. Then, a year later, she found me. A full year had passed. A year of silence, rebuilding, and finally feeling like myself again. I wasn't bitter or broken anymore. I was just free. Then out of nowhere there she was. I had just finished a morning run when I spotted her standing outside my building. At first I thought I was seeing things, maybe someone who looked like her. But when she turned around and our eyes met, I knew it was her. She looked different, not in the way time changes people but in the way regret consumes them. The confidence she once had, the arrogance of knowing she had something better, was gone. What stood before me now was a woman who finally understood what she had lost. "Hey," she said, her voice softer than I remembered. "Can we talk?" I didn't respond immediately, just stared at her, letting the silence stretch between us. She shifted, nervously tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "I know I have no right to ask, but I needed to see you." I exhaled slowly. "Why now?" She hesitated. "Because I made a mistake." I didn't know what to think, but I knew one thing. I had ruined everything. I studied her face, trying to find the woman I once loved, but she wasn't there. And neither was the version of me who would have cared. She reached out, her fingers brushing against my arm. "I never stopped loving you." I almost laughed, not out of cruelty but because I knew the truth. She wasn't here because she loved me. She was here because he didn't. "I forgave you a long time ago," I said, stepping back. "But not for you. For me." Her face crumpled and she opened her mouth to speak, but I didn't give her the chance. "Take care, Emily," I said. And with that I turned and walked away. As I walked, I didn't feel anger, sadness, or anything at all. She stood there watching me leave, probably waiting for me to stop, to turn around, to show any sign that there might still be a chance. But there wasn't. The truth was, she wasn't standing outside my door because she missed me. She was standing there because she missed the version of herself that existed when she was with me. The version of her that felt safe, secure, and wanted. But that version was gone now, and so was the version of me that would have taken her back. She made her choice long ago and I made mine. I didn't need closure from her. I had already given it to myself. As I stepped back into the building, it hit me. This was the ending she never expected. No arguments, no fights, no dramatic emotional reunion, just indifference. And that, I realized, was probably what hurt her the most. Some people don't regret cheating. They regret losing their backup plan. She didn't come back because she loved me. She came back because her new life didn't turn out as she expected. If it had, she would never have looked back. And that's why you never take them back. If they truly loved you, they would have never risked losing you in the first place. So, if you're waiting for someone to realize what they lost, stop. If they come back, just remember this: they don't miss you. They miss the way you made them feel. And that's not love. That's regret.